All right, coming up, we take a look at Canton's own Craig Lewin, who recently became one of the few people in the world, the entire world, to complete the triple crown of open water swimming. Check that out next.
Right now, super pleased and impressed to be joined by Craig Lewin. Craig, thank you so much for taking the time on being on NESN After Hours. I just want to give the audience a bit of background because you recently completed swimming the English Channel, which makes you one of about 250 people in history to complete what is known as the Triple Crown of open water swimming. You swam the English Channel, Catalina Channel, and around Manhattan Island. When did this become a goal for you? Who has inspired you? What has inspired this amazing journey?
Yeah, so basically 3 years ago, I hadn't been competing in a long time. I swam in college and I took some time off, and I coach a bunch of triathletes, and I saw all of them achieving their goals, and I was helping them, but I wasn't really doing much. So I said, I want to do something really big and something that you can do everything right and still fail. So that's where Catalina came from. So it was mostly started because of my swimmers that I coach, and it just all fell into place.
I love that story. I love that story. I was a little kid, but I love that this came to you later in life and that you were inspired by some of the people you are teaching. So very cool story. Walk us through some of the prep, because I imagine you don't just wake up and then swim for as long as you do in open water. So what's some of the prep, the lead up time-wise? What are you doing?
So for the English Channel specifically, I mean, all of them are pretty similar, but for the English Channel specifically, it's about 8 or 9 months of training. So I started back in November. I started going to the pool and everything was normal, and you slowly ramp up your volume. Basically, everything was going great. And then COVID hit and things changed rapidly. So my training regime went from being in the pool and everything looking great to basically me finding random places to swim, whether it was the ocean or I called my parents. They have a pool in their backyard. I was like, can you open the pool? I know it's March and I know it's snowing out. But my dad, before I could even hang up the phone, he was like, I'm opening it now. So I was able to go, and a normal day would be when COVID hit, wake up at around 3:30 in the morning, drive down to Swampscott or up to Swampscott to go swim in my parents' pool. And then after I was done in my parents' pool, I would meet a few friends and go for an ocean swim. And then I would drive back to Canton and sign on to work, and then work for the rest of the day, and then do some type of workout at night, whether it was Pilates or yoga or jiu-jitsu. And that's basically what I did day in and day out for the past 9 months until it was time to swim.
This is incredible. And you know what, something else we were reading about, which to me scares the daylights out of me, is swimming in open water at night. But I believe that the Catalina Channel, you had to start off at night. So how does that change your pace? Are you a bit slower because you don't see what's in front of you? Are you relying on guide boats, or how does that change swimming at night versus the day?
So swimming at night, I mean, swimming is swimming. It's one hand in front of the other. So, I mean, when I'm swimming and I'm looking down into like darkness, but when you're in the Catalina Channel, you do start at 11 p.m. It's very creepy when you start in pitch black, and the only thing you see around you is you have a guide boat that's on one side, and then you have a kayaker on the other. You have glow sticks on the kayak. You wear a glow stick or a strobe light, and then the pilot has the big escort boat has glow sticks as well. So you're just trying to stay between the two,
Right.
And then anytime you hit something, you obviously freak out because you're like, oh my god, what did I just touch? Is it driftwood? Is it a shark? What is it? And you start kind of getting in your own head. But as sun comes up, you almost get this new energy where you've been swimming for 6 hours, but it's almost like the swim just started now that you can actually see things around you. But it's more a mental trip than anything else.
Craig, thank you so much for your time. Super impressed by some of the stories. I'm sure you have so many more, but we'll have to save it. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so that was very impressive. I'm swimming into the next break.